Yorkshire night. Ooh, it's really cold. It's been snowing, and I can't put the heating on. The fire. The fire's on, but I can't put it on high because the cat's sitting on top of it. I don't want to burn it, so I've got my top on a freezing cold. I've got me a mug of OXO, which is very nice. Right. Anyway, so we're here tonight to watch Integrated Flight Test 6 of SpaceX's Starship and Super Heavy booster. And, oh, right, Ingrid just said, an Indiana Jones ad. Cool. The ads on my stuff now. Weird. I've signed up to YouTube Premium because I got sick of ads. So one of the best things of it, because I watch a lot of YouTube and I got fed up of watching ads, so I signed up to YouTube Premium. Anywho, so we're here to watch that, which is not happening yet, as you can see behind me. We're just under an hour until the launch window opens. It doesn't mean it's going to be an hour to launch, but it might be. But they're looking at 10 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. local time, Central time. So we'll see what happens there. But in the meantime, I thought we'd have a look at this new Star Trek thing that Windgrace has probably watched already. It's from that O-Toy place where they're doing like this Roddenberry archive. I don't really understand it, to be completely honest. I don't know what it is they're doing, but they're doing all this cool AI, CG, makeup effects videos of Star Trek stuff. We've seen Kirk's body get recovered from Viridian 3 and stuff like that, and now they've done a new one called Unification. I have no idea what's going on with it. What's that? Yup, link on my community tab if you want to follow along. Oh, cool. Hang on then. Bear with me. We're live. I'm going to go on to Windgrace. Windgrace's community tab. If I can find his blooming web thingy-my-job. Windgrace Project. If I could spell it properly. Right, where is he? Why isn't it coming up with him? Hang on, we'll take the space out. Right, there we go, that's found it. Because it's W, and I follow lots and lots of... I'm subscribed to lots and lots of YouTube pages. Windgrace, with it being alphabetically listed, is way down at the bottom. So I just search for it. Right, your community tab. Let's have a look. Oh, there it is. In case you missed it, yes, I've put one in my community tab as well. So there we go. So go and follow Windgrace, subscribe to his channel, and go and watch it from there. Or go to mine, the community tab. There's a link in there as well. Where you can watch it from. Right, so I'm going to say something else and I forgot what it was. I'm not going to play it, by the way, because I might get into trouble. I think it's unlisted. Yeah, it is. It says it's unlisted. Hang on, I haven't shared the the screen. Just bear with me. Where are we? Share. Right, it should. There it is. There it is. I'll just remove it a minute. It's unlisted, so I don't know why they've done that. And Josh Temple's here, harpoon at the ready to fire at any errant rockets that might go in the wrong direction. Anyway. But in the meantime, I'm going to have a look at this. I'm going to go through it, like I do with reviews and stuff, and we're just going to look at the images. I've no idea what half of the stuff is, to be completely honest. I think Robert My Burnett did a breakdown, but I don't know. Is he just guessing at what some of this stuff is? I don't know, but anyway, I don't know. I had to find the link in an article to find. Yes, because it's unlisted, isn't it? Yeah. I think it was in my history. I didn't watch it. It popped up in my feed or whatever yesterday or whenever it was, and I clicked on it. I thought I'll click on it and it'll be in my history then, and then I'll go back to it because I didn't get a chance to watch it. And luckily I did because it's unlisted now. Anyway. It says it's all a continuation of the previous episodes. Like I say, it's all a bit arty-farty for me, to be completely honest. But anyway, so right, let's have a look then. We'll go to theatre mode like that. add it to the stage. There it is. How many views has it had? It's only had 9,500 views. Likes, I mean, sorry. How many views has it had? 99,000 views. Oh, if only I could get that many views, but never mind. Right, so we begin. There we go with the quote from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. How we deal with death is at least as important as how we deal with life. That's what Admiral Kirk said. Admiral. And some have suggested what we're seeing here in this is part of Kirk that's remained in the Nexus, from Star Trek Generations, much like Guinan. Guinan went into the Nexus in Star Trek Generations, and then she got ripped out by the Enterprise B, and part of her remained behind. And some suggesting maybe part of Kirk is still in. That's what we've seen. Others have said, I think Robert Marbinet said, it's just it's poetry, and it's like in the vein of 2001. It's all supposed to be cerebral and all that stuff. But I don't know. Oh, and they've also been mentioned. The wormhole prophets have also been mentioned as well. So we begin. There we go. We see. According to Robert Marbinet, this is actually a star that we're seeing. I think it is. It's the surface of the sun, isn't it? Which I didn't realise at first because I was watching it, and you can see all that. And I thought it's either the Nexus, and another interpretation of the Nexus, or is it the because who this fella is? I thought, is it another view of the Great Barrier? But apparently it's just a star. Because where we see it's Gary Mitchell, Gary Lockwood as Gary Mitchell. Oh, hang on, there we go. With his silver eyes. Why? Don't know. But he's there. He's there. Oh, is it the Romulan supernova? Who knows? Who knows? But it wasn't the Romulan supernovas, it was the Hobus supernova. Do you think they forgot that? Or they just changed it? I don't know. But anyway, never mind. And can I do it with the 5-second thing? No, it won't do it. Never mind. And then we cut to Viridian 3. Some bloke there on. Is this supposed to be Spock retrieving Kirk's body? Don't know. It didn't give us a chance to look. I think it's supposed to be Spock in it. We saw this in one of the others, didn't we? At Vasquez Rocks. And then we cut to. Is this supposed to be San Francisco? I don't know. It looks a lot like we saw in that film, Star Trek Into Darkness. It looks like that, where they did that chase, didn't they, with Khan and Spock and Kirk. No, not Kirk. Khan and Spock fighting. Could be that. Could be that. Because they seem to be trying to put all sorts of different things in. Hang on. Just let me get rid of my bookmarks. You don't want to see that, do you? There we go. They seem to be trying to put all sorts of different, from all aspects of Star Trek. This is from a comic, apparently. I didn't know what it was, but according to Robert Marbinet, this is from a comic. And we're going to see. There she is. It's Yeoman Cobb. J.M. Cobb is the character name. I can't remember the actress name. She was in The Cage, obviously the menagerie as well. But she was in The Cage, so the young yeoman. There she is. Why we've seen her, don't know, because I've not read the comic, so I don't know what's going on. It's got is it not the Well of Souls? It's called something like the Well of something. It's called, but that's it. Apart from that, I have no idea what's going on. There we see the Enterprise D saucer section on Viridian 3. Vorstoja Viridian. I've got to say that. Which looks cool. And as we know, it gets recovered because Geordi cleans it all up a bit and sticks it on the secondary hull of the USS Syracuse, doesn't it? In season 3 of Star Trek Picard. What we're going to see next? Hang on, I've missed it. I'll have to just play it, aren't I? There we go. Oh, with that. Oh, with that. Let's go back. Let's go back. See, stuff appears so quickly. Right, we see that. There's the Enterprise. Right, who's that? Oh, is it her? Is it supposed to be J.M. Cobb pointing at the well of whatever it is? Spock mind melding with the yeoman. Why? See, it's so fast, isn't it? You've got to be quick to pause the bugger. Oh, for God's sake. YouTube, you need to sort out your bloody stuff. There we go. It looks like... I don't know. Is it just me? I don't know. But that looks like... I forgot his bloody name and all. The Kelvin Universe Spock. What's the name of the actor now? Zachary Quinto. That looks like Zachary Quinto to me. Particularly the uniform. Is it? Don't know. But yes, it's kind of... Remember. Or whatever. Some of these things are clips from other episodes. The Otoya episode, you mean? Anyway, we'll keep going. See, and then now she's looking at. This is what we see in Star Trek Picard season 3. So, is that her again? It looks like it, but she's in a looks to be in a Kelvin universe top. I think it is because it's got the weird patterns on it. So. I don't know what's going on. This is obviously Kirk, isn't it? James T. Kirk. You can see it says, even though it's blurred, you can tell that's what it says. We see him in Star Trek Picard season 3 at the Section 31 station. God, I wonder what was going on there. At the Section 31 station. So they've got his body. On ice, I imagine. But what's she doing there? Don't know. Oh, see, it goes so fast. And my reactions aren't fast enough, and it's just lots of numbers and stuff. There we go. That's obviously Kirk. Pardon me. Have they got it frozen like that? Or is that just a CG representation? Oh dear. And then we cut to this. I have no idea what this is. I bet Windgrace knows. Come on. Is he going to play? Are you playing? Oh, right. It's slowing down a bit now, isn't it? So we get a slow pan down. There's a statue here. Who's this statue? I have no idea. Is that what they call it? A cornucopia, whatever they call it? I don't know. But some classical statue, isn't it? So it's not Zephram Cochrane or anything like that, is it? So I don't know. I don't know what this is representative of. I don't know, but anyway. So then we see it's obviously Kirk. There he is in his what do they call them now? These boots. I've got a pair and I forgot what they call them. Never mind. In his Starfleet boots, with his kecks tucked in. Look a bit baggy, them, don't they? But and I'm watching it, I'm thinking, is this CG? And I don't think it is it? I think this actually, if this is CG, there's bloody good CG in it. But anyway, there he goes, liking the roses. I hope he don't prick his finger, because every rose has its thorn. Wing says, I'm not sure, probably very important. He's lying, he knows. He knows does Winggrace, because he knows everything. Right, so there's a fountain and a pond. And here he comes. Captain James T. Kirk from Renegades, from Generations. And we're going to meet some people that we know, statues. I'm sure these are relevant in some way, but don't ask me how. I have no idea how. I'm sure that's a statue of somebody. Who? Don't know. Alexander the Great? I don't know. It could be anybody, couldn't it? Could be Apollo, for all I know. You know, as reference to who mourns for Adonais. I have no idea. But here we go. People have gathered in their brightly coloured clothes. It's a combo of de-aging, the real sharpness standings, and CG practical stuff. Yeah, I know they got Sam Witwer in, didn't they, to play the original series Kirk that we're going to see in a bit. Which is cool. Right, so anyway. So here he comes. Here he comes. They're going to come in now. There he is. The hair's not quite right, is it? It's cool. It looks good, but the hair's not quite right. There's some shots where it seems to be a bit floaty. Does his hair? But anyway. Here he comes. Here he comes. They've got lots of people gathered. Does he know them? Are they all important people? I don't know. Some of them are. Not when I say important, I mean people we know. But anyway, so here we go. Lots of looks. By the way, there's no dialogue in this video. It's all music and mood. Sorry, I'm just having a look. I think they're doing prop load on the rocket. By the way, I think they're loading the propellant. They've been given the go ahead for it. Right, so he walks through the crowd. Mostly humans, it seems, but there's some aliens in. This fella looks alien. Here he goes, walking through. Who are they? Dunno. Don't know who they are, but we know who she is, don't we? It's Savick, the Robin Curtis version of Savick. Obviously, we'll get the actress. Is it me or does she smile in this? Looks like she smiles to me in this, but Vulcans do smile occasionally. But there she is as Savick, the old Savick. But I think this is supposed to represent this video. Is supposed to represent it's timeless because we see different versions of Kirk. But we see that the old Savick, but I don't think it really matters. They just could get the actress in, basically, I think, and you'd have thought they've had another one, wouldn't you? But done some CG. Maybe they didn't get permission or whatever from her estate of Kirstie Alley, but anyway, you'd have thought so. But anyway, so he has a nice look at Savick. There, she has a little look at him, and then has a look, and I think, "Oh, the hell's this?" And at first I think that's not Spock, is it? It's not Sarek. It turns out I think it's Selleck, because it says at the end, there's a cast list at the end. It says Selleck. I thought Tom, is it Tom Selleck? But no, it's. I think it's supposed to be Spock and Savick's son, even though he never mentions his own son, does he? In other things we've seen. Not that he should, because I suppose he's never asked, but... so is this Spock's son? Who doesn't look young himself, but anyway, so there he is. Or is it? I don't know. That's what people are saying. It's probably Spock's son, Selleck. Is Selleck Spock's son? I don't know. Is he in any books? I don't know. But anyway, so off he goes, carries on his little walk through the park. Nice, lots of nice little looks he's giving. It's very, very well done. Very, very Shatnery. So right, off he goes. He carries on. But kind of looks slightly pained there, doesn't she? As though she's a bit sad. But she's Vulcan, so that would not be logical. Right, so where's he going next? Oh, wow, we see this fella who we saw in, hang on, from Vulcan Heart, I think, where he and Savick got married. Oh, see, there you go. Is that a book? I don't know. I've not read that many Star Trek novelizations. I've read some of them, but 99.9% of them I haven't read. Anyway, when I was first watching it, I was thinking, oh, that bloody hell's this fella. He looked familiar, but I couldn't place him. Thanks to Robert Marbinet, he pointed him out. He's from Star Trek Discovery. Probably why I didn't think. He's called, is it Yor or something like that? He's the Starfleet officer who could travel between different timelines and stuff like that. So he's obviously from season 1 or 2 or before era TNG. And there he is. So they've even got some Discovery in there, haven't they? Anyway, he gives something that doesn't look particularly good, does it? But never mind. Who's that fella there at the side? Who's that supposed to be? He's in, dress uniform. 24th century, I think, Starfleet dress uniform. Like we saw in Nemesis, at the wedding. So I don't know who's that supposed to be. Wesley Crusher, an old Wesley Crusher. And me. But anywho. It gives him something, but we don't see what it is just yet. And I thought it was going to be like a com badge, a 24th century com badge. I thought, but it's not. So anyway, so then everything changes. Look, it turns like the Netflix logo forms behind him. Ba-dung. I know it ain't doing it's wrong colour and everything. There is a Crusher in the cast list. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Just says Crusher, doesn't it? So I bet it is. I bet it's supposed to be Wesley. Old Wesley. Can he get old now? Now he's become a traveller. But it could be. Could be. Anyway. So here he is in some sort of corridor now. And a bright light. I don't know. It's all beyond my limited comprehension. My ape's brain. And there he goes. It looks at his reflection in the floor. Let's go back again because he sees his reflection. There you go. And it's Sam Witwer looking up at him. Who kind of looked like Sam Witwer. Then he kind of morphed into Kirk, didn't he? If I go back a little bit, if it'll let me. I think it starts as Sam Witwer, then he morphs into Kirk. Looks like it to me, but anyway. Make sure we're not getting copyright strikes, by the way. No, we're fine. We're fine. By the way, we're live on YouTube and Rumble, I hope. I forgot to mention that. I just got on with it, didn't I? And we're live on Twitch as well. He says, hopefully. You're going to come on? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So, cool. And don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff. And join in the live chat and all that malarkey. What else? Explore the description for links and all that stuff. And super chats, super thanks. Become a member. Hang on. Where are we? Where what we doing? Hang on. Where is it? Become a member. Pressing the wrong button. So we've got. Oh, you can't see it. There we go. Oh, for Pete. There. Sort of mention the members. Right. Oh, hang on. I've done something wrong now. Where are we? There we go. And all that stuff. Right, so where were we? There it is. He sees a reflection of himself. So now we're with the original series Kirk. Looks really, really good. I think this is the best looking of the Kirks. In terms of, looking like Kirk. Even his physique. Sam Witwer must have a William Shatner in his 30s physique. Anyway, there we go. That's like Sam Witwer's side profile there, doesn't it? Then we see Admiral Kirk from Wrath of Khan. Admiral. And so they all look at each other for a bit. There we go. They just look at each other. The three of them together kind of look like action figures there, don't they? They just get them from, was it XO6 or whatever that company is that does them. There was that other company as well, that famous one. Did it go bust? That famous company that did super lifelike figures. I forgot what they call it. Anyway, never mind. There the others disappear, so he carries on. Because this is the latest version of Kirk before he passed away. Died under a bridge, not on the bridge. Yes, Sideshow, that's what I'm thinking of, yes. Did they go bust? Have they gone out of business? I don't know. Have a look. So it's not launching while I'm not looking. No, they're loading propellant. And this bloke is going to meet an old friend. Oh, I puts that thing that he'd given him that I forgot his name now. Yor had given him what is his badge. It's not a com badge, is it? But it's his insignia. He just sticks it on. Right. So anyway, goes into the light, and then he ends up in this room. It looks very orange, so I'm guessing it's supposed to be Vulcan, maybe. I don't know. So obviously he recognises the person on the bed, and obviously things in the room to give us clues as to who it is. It's obviously Spock in it. There's his Vulcan. Is it called a lyre or a harp? I don't know. And that's his. That's that shaky thing that we saw on with the bells on. Ching, ching, ching. That, a mock time, we saw it on there, didn't we? It can't be Vulcan. This is the Kelvin timeline where it's dead. Oh, don't get me started. It's not dead, it's gone, hasn't it? It's disappeared up its own arsehole. Anyway, and there on the table, there's this Vulcan Idic thing, which we saw him wear in the original series, didn't we? I can't remember which episode. I think it was the one with the Medusan. Was it that one? Or was it a different one? I can't remember. Anyway, I've just bloody watched them all, haven't I? And this is what he gives. Is this in Star Trek Beyond? What he gives to Zachary Quinto Spock, that's got the promotional photo from Star Trek 5, I think. Is it that what he gives him? I don't know. And a glass of water. Is that an important glass of water? Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, so it's obviously it is Spock. Is he dying? I don't know. What's Spock doing there? Just lying there for some weird reason. And they're kind of recreating the thing from Star Trek, the motion picture, you know, where he's Jim. This simple feeling, you know, it's beyond Vija because he's just gone through Vija's brain and come back. So it's kind of a recreation of that, and it kind of looks. Kirk's smiling at him, and he raises an eyebrow, and there we go. And then they look out at the sunset, or sunrise, or whatever it is, at the sun. Is it our sun, or is it Vulcan's sun? I can't remember what Vulcan's sun is. Epsilon Eridani, I've forgotten. Can't remember. I'm going to look it up now, because I've... Not that one, not that Vulcan. Oh, I'm going to have to put Star Trek in, aren't I? There we go. 40 Eridani. I were close. 40 Eridani. That's what it is. Maybe. Don't know. But, and then he lets go of his hands. Is Spock dying here? I don't know. Is this... This must be... Because Spock dies, doesn't it, in... unless it's a hologram of Vulcan. Well, it could be. But I think this is Spock's death that we don't see because he dies off screen, doesn't it, in Star Trek Beyond. Because is it on the Yorktown station where Spock learns of older Spock's death, doesn't he? And I think it's in Star Trek Beyond. Yeah, it is, yeah. And we didn't see it, did we? Because I think he'd passed away by this time in real life, hadn't he? I think at Leonard Nimoy. And so I think this is what we're seeing here. And obviously, Kirk's there. In my interpretation, Kirk's there to go take him to the other side or whatever, to Shakari, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, this is supposed to be the death of Spock from Beyond because they showed his empty picture frame that he sent young Spock. There we go. There we go. Did we see that? I've missed that one, haven't I? I didn't notice that. Let's go back, see the empty picture frame. I'm not going to find it, am I? Is it not this on the table? Is that not that thing here? Is it? Is that? I thought that's what he sent to Spock with the picture in. I don't know, but anyway, whatever. But yeah, that's what I think we're looking at, and there we go, and off they go. And then I don't understand these numbers. Do they have some meaning? They've all got different numbers, haven't they? 7, 6, 5, 8. No. Don't know. I'm sure it means something. There you go for Leonard Nimoy and Robert Marbinet said, I were bawling. And even Az from Heel versus Babyface said he were crying or getting a bit teary-eyed at this. Why? It's not that emotional, for Christ's sake. Well, I didn't think it was. Maybe I'm just a hard-hearted bugger. These numbers, according to Trek Culture, are Starfleet service numbers. Are they? All right. Are they sure? Saying that, what does Trek Culture know about Star Trek? I'm kidding. Oh, I think Lauren. Oh, for Pete's sake. William Shatner. There we go. Lauren Selleck. But I'm sure there's somebody in the cast called Selleck. Oh, but he carried on in a man. Gary Lockwood. And Toy Production. Music by Michael Giacchino. Did the Kelvin scores. But there is a cast list. I'm trying to get to it. There we go. Cast. There we go. Here it is. Pause. Oh no, it's Sorak, not Selleck. Sorak. So is it Sorak that's? I probably saw Selleck and got mixed up. Cause I'm an idiot. So it's Sorak. Spock and Savik's son. My Spock was Lawrence Selleck. Oh right, that's what I'm getting all mixed up with. But yeah, cool. Crusher, John Del Toro. So is he old Wesley Crusher? Anyway, Wingate says, I didn't cry, but I didn't tear up a tiny bit. Yeah, I didn't find it emotional, to be honest, because I didn't know what was going on. But anyway. Yeah, and there's lots of credits and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's very good. It's very lovely. But, you know, to be honest, I don't see the point. I honestly don't see the point. They say it's for this archive and stuff, but I don't get it. Maybe I'm too stupid to understand. I did tear up a bit. According to Google, a Sorak is a small six-legged creature the size of a green Martian woman's hand. Okay. Thanks, Google. So there we go. So that's unification. That's it. Go to me or Windgrace's community section. We've got a link for the video if you want to watch it. Of course, it's unlisted now for some reason. Right, so let's head over to NASA space flight. Or, has this started up yet? Let's give this a refresh. The official SpaceX link. Is it playing?
And learn more about this flight.
Shush. Yes, so they're off. As you can see, prop loading has begun. So how long will that take? What time is it now anyway? I can't. Oh, there we go. 9:30, just after our time. So it doesn't take that long. They've speeded it up a bit. Now they're showing what bits there is. There's the super heavy booster. There's the Starship. Super heavy booster's got, I can never remember, is it 33 engines? I think it's 33. Just probably got some Masonic symbolism behind it. Anyway. Ooh, slavering. Anyway, they're going to launch this bugger. Fingers crossed, and try and catch the booster again, and hopefully we won't get a Starship exploding like we did last time. I think it's going to splash down again. Well, it's going to land on the sea and then splash down, fall over. And hopefully it won't blow up this time. They've got a Godzilla on it. Is that in honour of Mechazilla? Because that's what they call the launch tower, don't they? It's bananas. What is it with bananas? Recently, I've had the thing because I got a thing from YouTube saying use this link and all that stuff because you've just reached 1,000 subscribers. It's bananas. They've got me X Twitter thing. It's on there. It is weird, but I'll show you. You know what? I'll show you. Sod it. Right, here we go. How do I do it? How do I get into my blood? I hate bloody thing. How do I get into it? How do I get into my flaming account? I've got to do it like that, haven't I? It's so bloody convoluted, isn't it? There we go, that. My YouTube channel crossed 1,000 subs. This is bananas. What is it with bananas? Why are they wearing banana stuff? I don't know. Anyway. No, it's bananas. Are they celebrating that I've reached 1,000 subs? Bet they are. I know it's for scale, innit? Hang on. I just got an email saying I hit 300,000 views. They didn't say it's bananas. I don't think I've got 300,000 views. Wish I had. I don't think I have. I haven't checked, to be honest. But I'm having banana cream pie for dessert tonight. Oh, very nice. I've never had that. I have bananas in my porridge on the morning. Or I have a banana. That's as far as I go. There we go. Scale. Millennium Falcon. Everybody knows how big the Millennium Falcon is, don't they? A Falcon 9 and the Starship and Super Heavy. There's all the engines, the Raptor engines. All 33 of them waiting. And it's been dead ever since. I don't know how many views I've got. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I'll not show you. I'll do it on my other screen. Analytics. Let's have a look at my analytics. Overview. How the hell do I do this? I don't know what I'm doing. See more. Lifetime. Right, views. Where are you? Alright, where's views then? Yeah, 218,120, so you've more views than me. But never mind. It's not a race. It's not a race. Right, so anyway. We're just waiting now. This is the official SpaceX feed on my screen here that you can't really see. I've got the NASA spaceflight feed. As you can see, they've got different views. So get rid of the chat. Go away, chat. Yeah, hang on. Theatre mode and get rid of the other stuff. You can see what I've been watching. A bit of Ozzy Osbourne and wrestling news and stuff like that. Brandon's cult movie reviews. Brandon Tenold. I like watching his videos. But anyway. It could be a space view race. Like in Voyager, Voyager, the space race episode. They did one in Stargate as well, didn't they? For some weird reason. Ah, dear. It's that cold. This was boiling hot, not like 15 minutes ago. Now it's nearly cold now. Oh, it hasn't all dissolved. I've still got some down in the bottom of my cup. Anyway. There you can see the fuel load in. There we go. It's coming in. Going in. I can't remember what order they're in. One of them's... I think in the booster, it's methane and oxygen. I think it's the same in Starship as well. It's methane and oxygen. The Falcon 9s, they use kerosene, don't they? But this use methane and oxygen. But I can't remember which is top and which is bottom. I want to do a video on all the Stargate episodes that are just Star Trek episodes. There's quite a few of them, isn't there? But that's work, yes. There's a few out there's very similar episodes. For instance, Emancipation is just essentially Code of Honour, isn't it? And we've got the space race one, and the ones where they get accused of, some member of the crew gets accused of something, and they've got to clear their name, and ones where they end up in an alien prison. There's all stuff like that. There's sci-fi tropes, I suppose, aren't there? Anyway. By the way, pardon me. I should thank Win Grace for reminding me what bloody day it is. I thought it was Wednesday. So originally we were going to do a stream. I'm going to call it, Wednesday Hangout. I thought, well, I usually do well, I don't usually. I used to do a live news stream on every Wednesday, and I thought, well, I'll just do a hangout. We'll talk about the news and watch this launch as well, and then Win Grace pointed out to me it's actually Tuesday. I even did the thumbnail and everything. What a div. Anyway, whatever. Whatever. Well, the weather looks nice for Boca Chica. That's where it is, right on the Mexican border, isn't it, Boca Chica? Don't know why. Is it as far south as you can get and not be in Florida? It sadly looks a little bit, I don't know. It's about the same as the bottom, as the Florida Keys, isn't it? Oh, is he showing us here the splashdown area? They've got Australia. I don't know what these two are. Is that the flag of Madagascar? And I don't know what this one is. Seychelles. She sells Seychelles on the seashore. There's the launch tower, thinking it's all holy. Hey. Oh, God, I'm tired. I'm real tired today. Oh, dear. According to me watch, I've got one of these smart watches that does me steps and checks me heart and all that stuff. And according to me watch, I didn't get any sleep at all last night. Because it does it, it monitors your sleep as well. And according to the little app I've got, and it synced it all, and it said I didn't get any sleep. So hang on, the phone, it's over there. Hang on, I'm gonna check it again. Yeah, I know I did get sleep because I remember actually sleeping. I remember having a dream. I was actually watching Star Trek: The Next Generation. I fell asleep before the end of an episode. The episode, I forgot what they call it now. The one with Admiral Mark Jamieson. It becomes young again. Too short a season. With that one, I fell asleep before the end. What am I doing? Oh, yeah. That happens when you get old as well. You start doing something and then you forget what you were doing. Right, let's do a sync. Let's resync it, see if it tells me if I slept. Don't think it's going to. No, it hasn't. No. Sleep record. 0 hours, 0 minutes. Look there, look. You see it? There we go. I got no sleep last night. Oh dear. According to that, it's weird. Maybe I died. Maybe I'm dead. Maybe this is heaven or whatever. Who knows? Who knows? Oh dear. Come on, fuel. Fuel. Because it's both a verb and an adjective. By the way, go subscribe to NASA Spaceflight. They do some cool videos if you're interested in this stuff. They've always got. This must be on the lens of this camera that they've got. There's always that like triangular, rhombus-shaped dark area. So I don't know if it's that something on the lens of it, but it must be. But or maybe it's something that's out of focus in the foreground. I don't know, but it's always there from this view. I think this is the beach camera. I think they've got a camera on the beach. Or it could just be a smudge. I don't know. That's changed and that hasn't. Are we still live? Oh no, we're not. Right, let's click that. Unbelievable. Why did that happen? How did that happen? Let's check the official. Let's have a listen, shall we? You'd have to listen to me waffling, right?
Checks out after launch. As always, we accept no compromises when it comes to the safety of the public and our team. And so to that end, the area around the pad and the flight path are cleared in advance.
A lot of things have to go right in order to line up the booster catch. So if all criteria is met, we will attempt the catch, but there is a chance that we may not. Either way, we'll be getting tons of in-flight data, which is extremely valuable.
Exactly. That first catch was pretty epic, though. So, like you, we'll be keeping our hopes high to see another one this afternoon. Now, Dan, you got to see it in person last time. Are you mentally prepared for a possible round two?
I mean, probably not. That was pretty hands down the coolest thing I've ever seen. And the fact that we're going to do that every time now breaks my brain a little bit, but it was absolutely incredible. One of the unique aspects with Super Heavy coming back is it does generate a sonic boom. This is something commonly associated with reusable spacecraft. It's coming in faster than the speed of sound and then slowing down. It creates that pressure wave that builds up. And then when it reaches you on the ground, that rapid change in pressure is that quick thunderclap sound that you hear. Now, generally the only effect is that thunderclap sound. But if you're not expecting it, it's definitely going to get your attention. And we were able to hear it last time. The impact of, or how loud it is, changes pretty dramatically. And in this video, you can see as we were descending. And there was kind of that quick triple pop that you heard. Now, that was picked up from closer to the pad. Most people at our distance and further away, you're only going to hear one or two as they're happening kind of so on top of each other that it might just sound like one big bang. But as I said, that's something that's only associated with spacecraft being reused. We hear it with Falcon 9. We heard it during Shuttle, and looking forward to hopefully hearing it today. Just a quick status check, though. We're about 85% full on ship, almost 2/3 of the way full on booster, continuing to count down about 13 and a half minutes, a little under that, until we lift off today. But still looking good. I'll check back in with you guys in a few minutes. Back over to Jesse and Kate.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, I think Dan said it really well when it really does hurt the brain to think that this is going to be the norm, that this is just the beginning. Every one of these flights is a step closer to a fully operational Starship that will take us beyond Earth orbit. And with our pace of rapid iteration here, the Moon and Mars are not nearly as far in the future as you may think. In fact, we're planning to send Starships to Mars as soon as 2026.
Which is when the next Mars transfer window opens, which is under 2 years from now. Now, you might be familiar with the Starlink logo, which you see there on your screen. It's an iconic representation of the Mars transfer orbit, also called the home and transfer orbit. This transfer window, or the time between the time when Earth and Mars are closest to each other, opens every 26 months and is only open for about 2 to 3 months at a time for a vehicle with Starship's power.
Lining up a launch to Mars is similar to how we launch to the International Space Station, where we time the launches to match the station's orbit. If we didn't do this, we would need more propellant and more time to get there.
So the first opportunity we have to fly Starships to Mars, we plan to go for it. These first flight tests to Mars will be uncrewed and will test the reliability of landing in tech. If those landings go well, the first crewed flights will soon follow after that.
Right now, our flight tests are focused on proving out reusability of both Super Heavy and Starship. In 2025, we'll continue that focus while also potentially flying our first Starlink missions and demonstrate capabilities central to our role in taking astronauts to the moon as part of NASA's Artemis program. Starship will be used to land astronauts on the lunar surface on NASA's Artemis 3 mission, which will put the first humans on the moon since 1972.
One key capability will be the ability to refuel Starship on orbit, which you can see there on your screen, with a Starship prop tanker docked with a fuel depot. Next year, we're planning to test this capability by launching 2 Starships and having them meet up to transfer tons of cryogenic propellants. Now, when the time comes to land on the moon, Starship will link up with NASA's Orion spacecraft in lunar orbit, where astronauts will transfer over for their descent. Now, once on the lunar surface, they'll ride the elevator down in their Axiom EMU spacesuits from Axiom Space and leave the first footprints on the moon in more than half a century, kickstarting humanity's mission to establish a sustainable presence there. And coming soon to a moon base alpha near you, Starship Enterprise Edition.
That is so exciting, and all the advancements that are going to come in order to enable all of that. Now, our rapid iterative development approach has been the basis for all of SpaceX's major innovative advancements, including Falcon, Dragon, and Starlink. Today, we're testing hardware and systems, and we need to know how they perform under the most extreme conditions. And what's more extreme than the flight environment? We'd much rather find the bugs and limits now during testing than later on when there's more on the line.
And to reiterate, while we do determine an acceptable level of technical risk on our vehicle and pad to learn as fast as possible, we accept no compromises when it comes to the safety of the public or our team. So all of that to say, this is only the 6th of many future flight tests of Starship before it becomes fully operational.
And we tend to do our testing out in the open, just like today. And that means people sometimes see when our hardware doesn't perform as we planned during that testing. And that's okay, because this is exactly what we are testing for, to physically see if hardware performance matches what we expect it to do or not. Even more with today's test flight, where we're purposefully pushing the ship beyond its limits.
Starship development is also being aided by Starlink space-based connectivity. You might remember the Starlink panels that are incorporated into Starship, and you can see them there on your screen, those rectangular panels on Starship's nose cone. Starlink brings us the epic views in space and on re-entry, and also helps deliver us critical flight data engineers need to continue development.
Yeah, Starlink continues to help us push the limits in space in the short term by providing great views and real-time data on our next few flights, particularly through re-entry, which spaceflight veterans know that is historically a period of blackout for all communications within spaceflight.
Outside of Starship, Starlink has helped people across the globe, particularly in rural and remote areas that have been underserved by traditional broadband internet.
Yeah, and soon, Starship will deploy our next generation Starlink satellites, which will continue to increase our capability to connect even more people with high-speed internet all around the world and beyond. Now, as we continue to prepare for our next several flight tests, we recently performed a cryo-proof test of the Starship for Flight 7, our first operation with the vehicle debuting a number of major milestones. The ship has been stretched to make room for larger propellant tanks, increasing the propellant capacity from 1,200 tons to 1,500 tons. The forward flaps also got a redesign. They have shrunk in size and they also shifted in location, and both of these things will help better protect them during entry heating while still providing control. There's also a wide range of upgrades that will make the vehicle more reliable, adding redundancy to and the ability to operate for longer durations in space.
One unique aspect of a trip to Mars are the different conditions ship will see when entering the Martian atmosphere. Now, it's difficult to simulate Mars's atmosphere when re-entering on Earth, so we've been testing a variety of heat shield materials inside a specialized plasma jet chamber at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, where we're able to more closely simulate Mars's 95% carbon dioxide atmosphere.
Aside from looking awesome, this is important testing. The intense heat of entry will cause the CO2 to break down into its base elements, exposing Starship to atomic oxygen, which increases surface heating and can cause materials to oxidize or start to break down. Spacecraft entering over Mars encountered more than twice the amount of atomic oxygen at their peak when compared to Earth, and that is certainly a unique challenge. As we continue to test, we'll learn more about what makes a great heat shield for Mars. All right, now that we're heading into the final minutes of the countdown, let's go back to Dan for the latest on the ground there at Starbase.
Hey, Kate, afraid I have nothing but good news for you. We have a go from our range safety team. We are a little over 90% full on ship, almost 85% full on booster, and not tracking any holds to an on-time liftoff. So we've got about 3 more minutes of prop load. As long as the range stays clear, we don't trip any other holds, we might blow right past that T-minus 40-second mark and lift off right at the top of our window at 4 p.m. Central. So toss it back to you guys one more time, but fun part about to start, we are, a little under 6 minutes away from launch.
Star hopper there.
All right, so we are continuing to progress now at 5 minutes and 43 seconds until liftoff. Now, once we pass the T-minus 40-second mark, a number of events are going to occur in rapid succession. The ground spin and ignition systems will come up to flight pressure, and the ship will go on to internal power.
And then after that, the quick disconnect, or what we call the QD arm lockout, is removed in preparation for retraction shortly after T0. And once we pass the T-minus 40-second mark, we still have the ability to recycle the count under certain conditions back to T-minus 40 seconds, and then hold there to assess what happened and if we can proceed again to T0.
Exactly. However, once the water for the deflector system begins flowing at T-minus 10 seconds, Any issue after that would be an automatic scrub for the day, as the teams would need to refill the deflector's water tanks as well as the propellant storage tanks over at the tank farm before we're able to make another attempt.
Now, it is just so unbelievable that it's just been only a little over a month, and we are just a few minutes away from Flight 6.
Are they trying to make an interplexing
The crowd
beacon?
here is building up. We've got a much larger crowd here than when we were launching at 4 or 5 in the morning out here. So very exciting to have an afternoon launch to have all the employees here.
Exactly. Now, just as a reminder, that T-minus 40-second hold, if we opt to use it, everything is still potentially go for launch. So nothing to be worried about there. At that point, basically up until T-minus 40 seconds, all aborts are just holds. This would allow the team to wait for final checkouts to assess propellant levels, engines, avionics, vehicle pressurization, range, weather. Occasionally we've had shrimp boats lingering in the past, but that doesn't sound like that is the case today.
Yeah, not today. No shrimp boats, which is great. Everything so far is looking good. We're getting really excited here, just a few minutes away. We're going to go back, send it over to Dan in Starbase. How's it going, Dan?
It is still going great, just coming up on about 3.5 minutes away, so we should be done with our prop load on ship momentarily. Then about 30 seconds later, we'll close out on booster. Our flight control team on board, or in the building just behind me, not on board. Some of them might wish they were on board. Flight control team in the building behind me, they're going to have a lot of work to do right after we lift off, as we still have a lot of manual checks that happen on the tower prior to the flight director, who's going to be Tristan Pierce again today, giving a manual command to bring the booster back to the launch site. And the tower did just incredibly well on the last flight. We didn't lose any of our required redundancy for a catch. So we're hoping to see that again today. A lot of the team, really putting armor on the tower, making all of those things work, played a huge role in making that catch possible, and looking forward to hopefully seeing that happen again. And of course, sending our first payload to space. You can see the banana. It's very tightly secured, but I assure you it does have some room to float around. So once we're in a zero gravity environment, we should see our first Starship zero gravity indicator putting on a little bit of a show. And that's looking right in. That's where we're going to have Starlinks. That's our PEZ deployer. So getting its ride to space. So coming up on about 2.5 minutes, we are closing out on all of our prop load. Just heard that our fill drains are starting to close. So that means we're no longer going to be flowing propellant into the booster and the ship. We're going to do what's called pushbacks. So all of that propellant in the ground systems is going to get pushed back to the tanks, clear out everything around the pad right before we light those 33 engines and take off. Just quick reminder, you're going to see fire start at the bottom. You're going to see the deflector start at about 10 seconds before launch. Lots of water to help dissipate all that heat, all that sound. And then the engine starting up in 3 different groups. And then about a second after T0, we should see liftoff.
The same way as poor Laika, the Russian dog.
2.5 minutes into the flight, a little bit longer, we'll see hot staging. And that's when we're going to be listening really close on those loops to see if we're going to be bringing the booster back for a catch today. Do always want to caution, it's never a guarantee. We've done this once. We'll see if we do it again. We're only going to do it if the booster and the tower are looking really good before we attempt to bring it back here. But coming up on a minute, not tracking any holds on the board right now. So as long as we don't have any last second things, which do happen.
All cheering.
All right, flight director just confirmed T-minus 1 minute.
Can't do that.
Key moment to look at in 10 seconds.
Imagine
that
two of them
40.
going up at once. That'd be cool.
And we flew right through that.
All right. Not long now. Might see it launch first on this
Flight
screen.
directors go for launch.
Because there's a bit of a delay on the official
All right,
feed.
we're now T-minus 20 seconds until liftoff of Starship Flight 6. This will mark our second attempt to catch the Super Heavy booster at the launch tower,
Go in.
as well as
Here we go. We're going to see the water suppression system.
4, 3, 2,
ignited, all the engines. Yes, they have. All the engines are ignited.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
There.
Booster Raptor, chamber pressure nominal.
It's a great view, innit? Oop.
Booster and ship, avionics, power, and telemetry nominal.
Gas, Captain.
Vehicle
All right,
has
we're
reached
just a little over a minute into
maximum
flight.
dynamic pressure.
We're about 6 miles
Until
away,
max
so all the
Q.
sound's still hitting us here. Hearing good call outs that power telemetry nominal, that's flying straight and true. We do see all 33 Raptor engines lit up on telemetry screens. At this point, we've passed through that point of maximum aerodynamic pressure, that max Q. Now, coming up in just a little over a minute from now is going to be hot staging. So we're going to see the 6 engines on the ship ignite while still attached to the booster. Just before that, we'll see all but 3 center engines on the booster shut down. In what we call MECO, it's most engines cut off instead of main engine. And so while we continue to watch it go up, a lot of our flight controllers looking at all the systems around the tower. Again, we have to send a manual command. Just about 30 seconds away from hot staging.
Doing the wrong things. No, there we go. Pressing the wrong buttons. Gone quiet. We'll go hot staging, see it there.
And we heard the tower is go for catch.
Booster engine cut off.
The return flag is set for true.
Hot staging. Separation. Emergency sources
Stage
separate.
separation.
All right, hot staging confirmed. 6 out of 6
Boost
lit
back
on the
now
ship.
for the
Booster boost back going. We heard that we are go for catch. Kate, Jesse, take good the views. Hopefully I got a booster coming home real soon.
I'm all
From
giddy.
our view here, Dan,
Every
great
time I
views
get
of
giddy
planet
every
Earth
time.
behind that super heavy booster. Right now it is performing the
Ship
boost
chamber
back
pressure
burn.
nominal.
Good news there, telling us that the pressures inside the ship are good. That is the second stage or the upper portion of the vehicle. Follow along with the telemetry on the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, booster is currently, super heavy is currently in its boost back burn. This boost back
Ship
burn,
avionics, power, and telemetry nominal.
this boost back burn lasts just a little bit over a minute. So we've got a little, approximately 30 seconds left.
We've had shutdown of that boost back burn. Up next will be hot stage jettison. The view from the camera on the left, or from the booster on the left-hand side of your screen, and then tracking cam there on the right-hand side of your screen. We'll see those grid fins.
Booster offshore divert.
No.
And we can also see that the hot stage has been
Oh, there we go.
jettisoned.
Yes, visual confirmation of that there on your screen, which is great. Now the next
Starship is following a nominal trajectory.
step for booster is going into that landing burn. Again, it'll light up 13 of those engines and then pare down to 3 engines right before booster catch.
All right, now just real quick, we did hear the call out, booster offshore divert. Unfortunately, that means that we are no-go for the catch.
No.
As we said before, both the tower and the vehicle, as well as the operators on console, have been actively evaluating the commit criteria for that return to the launch tower. And unfortunately, we did not have a pass on those commit criteria. So we are no-go for tower catch.
And we did mention that we're constantly evaluating the criteria for catch. There's a lot of things that need to go well in order to line that up. Unfortunately, today we will forego booster catch today. But what you're seeing on your screen is ship currently making its way towards the Indian Ocean. Still looking good so far.
Exactly. So views there of the booster on the left-hand side of your screen, views of the ship on the right-hand side of your screen. Now, we've said before that it was not guaranteed that we would be able to make a tower catch today. So while we were hoping for it, like we said, it was pretty epic on attempt 1, but the safety of the teams and the public and the pad itself are paramount. So we are accepting no compromises in any of those areas.
Exactly, and we're still going to get a lot of good flight data with booster even, but especially with ship. Again, we have an additional objective today to do an in-space relight of a Raptor engine, which again will help us set us up for being able to do deorbit burns, which is
Ship chamber pressures are nominal.
which is important for orbital flights. And what you're seeing on your screen is a view from Super Heavy as it's making its way back down to Earth.
Yeah, once again, we are attempting an offshore landing of the Super Heavy booster. So we have seen this before, and it is still very fun to watching it come down for a soft splashdown off the Gulf Coast of Texas. We can see it there re-entering. We saw earlier those grid fins. There are 4 hypersonic grid fins. Or we can see that the landing burn has begun on the Super Heavy booster.
Same pattern, 13 engines were light, gone down to 3 just as we expected. And what an incredible view of splashdown that we got today.
Tip
Oh,
over
super
now.
heavy.
There it goes.
Yeah, I'm sure the buoy cam views will be pretty
Just-
awesome
oh,
once
go away
again.
for then.
So we'd like to confirm a water landing once
Whoa,
again
no.
for the Super Heavy booster. Congrats to the SpaceX team for making that milestone as well. Now, ship continues to look good. We can see that it is, while all of that was happening, the crowd here in Hawthorne continuing to react to all these amazing views that we're getting. The next milestone is
Starship is in terminal guidance.
great news there. Starship terminal guidance, referring to what we see here on our screen, the upper stage, at about 8 minutes 35 seconds or so, we have ship engine cutoff, which will be the cutoff of the Raptor engines. We can see on our screen ship giving us some incredible views brought to us by Starlink. This view is also very interesting because we can see basically the receding tile line that we referred to earlier, where we mentioned we have removed a number of heat shield tiles in order to test out and push the envelope on the ship and demonstrate what its capabilities are.
Ship engine cutoff.
And there we just heard call out for SECO, ship engine cutoff. Great news there. Everything continuing to look awesome for ship.
Full view looking aft on ship here.
Ship FTS is saved.
There's a bit bouncing about there, aren't there?
Nominal orbit insertion.
There's that call out we were waiting for. Confirmation of good orbital insertion for ship today.
It has been a very
How's the
exciting
banana doing?
afternoon
That's what I
so
wanna
far. We'd like to send it back over to Dan, who can give us that live view experience. Dan, once again, are you okay after witnessing another Starship launch?
Yeah, totally fine. You guys have to be jealous. This is the only way to do this. This is fantastic. No, it was really cool to see it lift off 33 out of 33. Didn't go for the booster catch today. Initially, we were good, and then we tripped a commit criteria and did the offshore divert. So we went and did that water landing, as everybody saw. We'll dig into it a little bit more, but again, we've done it once, we've now done it twice. We're going to keep trying to do it, as this is just a core capability of
3
Starship
million
and what's going to make it so incredible. There's a lot left. We're just about almost 10 minutes into this flight, so about 50 plus minutes still to go. Ship nominal orbit, so it's on its way around the planet. It's going to attempt to do an in-space burn. We're going to light one of those Raptor engines, the sea level ones in the middle, just to help demonstrate that we can relight in that microgravity environment, really critical for deorbit burns as we start to do some orbital missions in the not too distant future. And then following that, we'll see a ship entry, maybe a splashdown. As you guys said, we're really going to be pushing ship on this one. We're pretty much intentionally putting it in places where we expect it might not do so great. And all that's to try and help us learn, see if we were a little too conservative. And then maybe that opens up more capability for when we start catching them.
Kid trapped inside
I'll
it?
check back in with everybody in a little bit. I'm going to tune in and watch the ship fly
in
around
this
planet
rocket.
Earth. And hopefully we see it re-entering in the not too distant future. Back over to you guys.
Thanks, Dan. Development testing, by definition, is unpredictable, which we saw with Super Heavy splashing down in the Gulf of Mexico today, but that is exactly why we test. As is standard for these tests, the area around the pad and along the flight path
Stand
was
by
cleared
for
prior to
Starcam.
launch, and we expect the road and beach to remain closed until further notice.
Yeah, testing development flight hardware in a flight environment is what enables our teams to quickly learn and execute design changes and hardware upgrades to improve the probability of success in the future. Please do not attempt to approach the booster in the water for your safety as well as for that of our team that will be working on recovery. Now, we are going to
Releasing
continue though.
Josh.
The mission is not done.
Exactly.
Go after
The
that
mission's not over.
booster.
Ship is still coasting. But it has been nonstop since liftoff. And with the booster having completed its job for the day, we are going to take a short break for the next 35
Size
minutes
up.
or so while ship continues to coast before reentry. Now, as with previous flights, Starlink may enable us to talk to the ship through reentry with no communication blackout. Now, we are still testing Starlink during this phase of flight, so nothing is completely certain.
Yeah, so if we do have views, we will be sure to bring those to you live. And of course, one of those views include that of our, as we said before, surprise payload, the banana. And we are looking
show us
forward
the
to it.
banana.
So we're going to come back in
Banana.
a few minutes, around T plus 35 minutes.
Exactly. Views or no views, we'll see you back here at T plus 40 minutes for our coverage of Starship's reentry, flip maneuver, landing burn, and hopefully see a splashdown.
He fools me. Best thing about it, that thing, wasn't it? Right. Shut up. They've done talking now. We'll cut back to NASA space flight. Are they saying anything?
For the booster, it seems at least that something was not right there.
Yeah.
Do you
I mean,
think-
Jack wanted an explosion, right?
And that's absolutely understandable. Just to point
Yep.
this out again, this rocket,
By the way, they did catch it exploding. I'm going to go back. See if I can see it. They caught the booster exploding in the sea. Here we go. Here it's coming down. Replay. And it blows up. I don't know if they blew it up because they've got a flight termination system. Josh says, I've not touched it yet. With his harpoon. He was watching it coming down again. Yes, it did. It was an old code, but it checked out, apparently. Here it goes. Boom! There it goes. There was an earth-shattering kaboom! So there we go. I don't know if it just blew up or if they blew it up. You know, I bet they blew it up for whatever reason. So the Ruskies don't get their hands on it. I think it was Poseidon, not pleased with our litter. He should have unleashed the Kraken, shouldn't he? Anyway, so there we go. Stand by for star cams. I'm going to say that every time I see that. Right, so we've got some time to wait now before it gets over to the Indian Ocean. About half an hour, isn't it? 25 minutes now. So, is there any news we can talk about? Let's have a look what we got. The cast and crew of Skeleton Crew on the art of a good Star Wars name. I have no idea what they're talking about there. Oh, all the people on the beach, look. All waiting for... Oh, there's a banana. Banana looks fine. I bet it's a bit chilly now, though. but it's a bit chilly. Oh, there's bits of vapour floating about as well. In 0G. I'm looking at my news thing, my sci-fi news feed, see if there's anything that catches my eye. Star Wars skeleton crew almost cast Goonies as adults. I don't know what they're talking about. Goonies is crap. I don't like that film, in my opinion. Who is Cam? It's obviously, you know, Colonel Cameron Mitchell, isn't it? And he's a star. Are they trying to finally feed those chimps? They're still up there. Those NASA chimps. Anyway, whatever. PS5 Pro owners say some games look worse after upgrades. Typical. Doctor Who is bringing back a surprising Stephen Moffat villain in 2024. Don't care. I don't. Josh O'Connor signs on to Steven Spielberg's next sci-fi blockbuster. Who the hell's Josh O'Connor? No idea. Star Trek's workplace sitcom gets a development update from Lower Decks star. Obviously, Tony Newsom, I imagine. It's been such a joy. Right, let's have a look at that then. Let's have a look at this news, Star Trek news, while we're waiting for the thingy. Let me just make sure everything's okay. Surprising. It's not surprising at all. Have you read it? Okay then. But let's have a read. Here we go. I'll drag it over. Right. Star Trek's workplace sitcom gets development update from Lower Decks star. It's been such a joy. That's from episode 1, isn't it? The very first episode where she gets in with the bat'leth, and I got really angry. I did. Right, planned Star Trek workplace sitcom gets exciting development update from Lower Decks cast member Tony Newsom. People were saying it's probably not going to happen on this. The Star Trek franchise was created by Gene Roddenberry and debuted on the NBC in 1966, becoming a huge hit. Except it wasn't, was it? It wasn't a huge hit. It was always on the verge of cancellation. It would have hit afterward in syndication. But anyway, and developing into one of the most iconic and beloved franchises of all time. After 12 years off the small screen, Paramount Network relaunched the franchise in 2017 with Star Trek Bloody Discovery. I liked season 1, I must admit, which was positively received. What are they talking about? Are they making things up? And was followed by other successful shows, including Picard, Prodigy, which was so successful they got rid of it, sold it off to Netflix, Strange New Worlds, which I do like, probably because of all the hot chicks that's in there. I'm a dirty old man. And the animated show Lower Decks, with further shows and movies planned. Wingers says there was a Trek convention thing this weekend. My friend went, and his main takeaway was that pretty much everyone said Legacy isn't going to happen at all. You mean the people, the insiders, you know, the guests from Star Trek, they were saying Legacy's not going to happen. We'll see. I'm still hoping for my mid-2025 thing, even if it's just an announcement. In an interview with Collider, Newsom provides an update on the planned unnamed live-action Star Trek sitcom that she's developing and speaks about the chances of the show being made on Paramount+. Plus. They said it's a workplace one. Is it going to be like The Office then? Do you reckon? As though there's like a camera crew following them round, so there's going to be lots of glances into camera and stuff. Anyway. The actress, who also serves as a writer on the upcoming Star Trek Starfleet Academy, reveals that she would love to include some Lower Decks Easter eggs in the upcoming show and states that she's confident the show will come to fruition as long as Paramount is happy with her creative direction. Check out Newsom's comments below. Right, we will do that. Single women seeking older men. It's because I said I'm all dirty old man. It made that ad pop up. Anyway, quote, all I can share with you is that we keep writing it and we keep turning things in and they keep saying, please keep writing. So long as they allow us to do that and they don't say, stop, close your computers and go home, we'll continue making it. And yeah, as long as they don't tell me, please shut your laptop and throw it in the sea, I will keep working on it. It's been such a joy. I love Justin Simeon with all my heart. I can't wait to hopefully keep doing it. Is that the update then? Can't wait to hopefully keep doing it. That doesn't fill me with, a lot of confidence. Skipping over that. Of course, and there she is, in the Strange New Worlds episode, the live-action crossover. Of course, as Newsroom suggests, the network will need to be happy with the creative direction of the show, particularly because developing a Star Trek sitcom is already a big risk. But it does seem that Paramount is allowing her to map a creative direction without too much interference, seemingly giving the green light to continue if they're happy with what Newsroom and her team are producing. No, they've just not heard anything. That's all she's saying. So, she might not know. There might be an announcement. Because they always say, "Oh, we heard about it when we read it on social media." There'll be something like that happens, but it's not happening. But anyway, speaking of Paramount, says Win Grace, what happened to that merger thing? Kinda gone quiet in front of scenes, and all the Rage channels stopped covering it too. Yeah, I suppose it's just like behind the scenes stuff going on now, innit? Dotting the I's and crossing the T's and all that stuff. What are you up to? Princess is looking at something. What are you looking at? Can you get in? Can you manage? Yeah, of course you can. Well, this should be a positive factor for the upcoming Star Trek movies and TV shows and suggests that the network is open to leaving major creative choices to its writers and directors. No, she just said, if I get past my new future girlfriend, where is it? Where is it now? So long as they allow us to do that and they don't say stop, close your computers, we'll keep making it. She said, and they keep saying, please keep writing. So, right, fair enough, there is that then, isn't there? There is that. But are they really saying that, or they're just not saying anything, and they're just carrying on just in case? Is it Mrs. Toygy? Oh, dear. What next? What's this one? Intermittent fasting basics for men, because they know I've been on the weight management course thing. But I've only spoken about, probably as I'm walking about, I've been saying to her, Aidan, I'm off my weight management course. Won't be long. Because it listens to you. No details are known about the show as of yet, but Newsroom's involvement with both Lower Decks and Starfleet Academy, by the way, I've lost 7 kilos, so there we go, which is about a stone. I've lost 14 pounds-ish. Anyway. Not £14. Yeah, £14, yeah. Where were we? No details are known about the show as of yet, but Newsroom's involvement with both Lower Decks and Starfleet Academy will make her something of a franchise veteran, as well as giving her the platform for blending both comedy and drama and perfecting her role as a performer and writer, which is going to prove invaluable for the franchise's first ever live-action sitcom. The subjective nature of comedy means it is always best to leave the writers to do their own thing, and Paramount clearly trusts Newsroom and her team to get the job done. We'll see. I hope you'll find it soon. Congrats! Our verdict on whether Star Trek's live-action sitcom will happen. What the hell is this? What's going on here? Oh, is this from Section 31? It must be. Just stare at that. Looks bloody awful. It does though, doesn't it? It does. Michelle Yeoh's Star Trek movie Section 31 will continue the franchise's movie releases. But with shows like Picard and Discovery having come to an end and Lower Decks in the middle of its final season, Paramount will be looking to develop future TV projects to keep the universe evolving. I think a sitcom is a big risk for the Star Trek franchise, and one that will either be a huge success or backfire spectacularly. But it shows a bold move from the network and provides viewers with something unique and original for the future of Star Trek. Source Collide. I'm not bothered about that. I don't know if they do it. I think if they do it in like The Office, if it does get made, and if it's like The Office, like I say, as though it's like there's a camera crew following them round or whatever. That could be interesting. Wow, so it either works or it doesn't. Hot take, yeah, exactly. Anyway, so there we go. It's such a joy, and they've not told them to close their computers yet. Just keep writing, or please keep writing. But we're not going to pay you yet. So there we go. Right, what's happening here? Checking on the banana. The banana's fine. What's that? What we're looking at there? That's some sort of... I don't know what it is. Let's listen to what they're saying.
Because they will not need that.
I'm going to refill my drink.
Silver lining, people. Silver lining.
Yep. Absolutely. And again, the next flight is not that far away. The next catch attempt for sure is not that far away. Because we expected, I would say early February and late January, somewhere in there. That's
I might
probably
slip into
realistic.
March. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say
And
late
that's fine.
February, early March. Yeah.
It's the first V2 ship.
If I had to consult my crystal space ball.
I forgot mine at home.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's time. I'm getting on... Am I allowed to present something, Kevin?
It's time.
Let's go. Let's show something from this, because we like sonic booms here, and we have something special here for you prepared.
Ooh.
Look at that. Pauline finished this just a few hours ago, and I think it's a very, very, very cool design. Not only available on apparel and mugs, but also on stickers. Our Sonic Vibes shirt
Nice.
that is now available to celebrate all of these cool sonic booms. Did you hear Sonic Boom, Gene?
I did not. I did not hear the sonic boom of the booster. I was looking up in the air because I didn't have any camera, so I was looking up in the air, and I may have, but I heard obviously the roar of the rocket when it launched. But that's a beautiful design. I need one of those. Save me one of those, Adrian. And that's a debut. You're just showing that for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely. We just showed that for the first time, and stand by. There might be prints coming from our photographers, because they are still working on that. Go to shop.nasaspaceflight.com and get that, and get the patch. The patch is very much still amazing. I don't think it's any less amazing because they didn't go for a catch. It's still
Chad is saying we should stop testing on bananas, the poor bananas.
Oh yeah, that's
Look at that, just floating free in space. About to re-enter. That's a beautiful design. I definitely want a Sonic Vibe shirt.
There you
Add
go.
it to my collection.
And
to
now
wear on.
available.
Awesome.
Thank you all so much. And with that, we are now focusing our attention on this amazing Raptor relight coming on. Alex, will they perform that with a Raptor vacuum or with the Raptor sea level engine?
I'm mostly sure that'll be with one of the sea level engines, but we'll see what happens in about 8 minutes from now.
Yeah, I think it'll be a sea level engine. I mean, because they can turn it on, turn it off. We saw them do that at McGregor 50-something times a couple weeks ago, right?
Absolutely. I mean, they demonstrated their ability to relight the Raptor
the
engine.
camera stopped working,
the question is just 0G. Can they do it there?
Yeah.
Because this very much ignites, of course.
There we go. I'm back.
Alex,
Can you hear me?
do you? I'm just the total speculation now. Did the booster explode because of the engines going under the water, or do you think they FTS'd it?
No, the FTS is saved during the re-entry. I actually heard the call out that FTS has been saved for the booster and also the ship. Like the ship right now.
Right, so it just blew up spontaneously. Spontaneous booster combustion. Do you think Starbase 80 was a backdoor pilot, as people speculate? Oh, right, I never even thought of it. Never even thought of that. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Another animated series, or a live-action Starbase 80. Dunno. Probably not, to be honest. Probably not. But you never know, do you? You never know. So, never say never. But it'd be interesting, wouldn't it? It'd be interesting. I mean, you can say anything is a backdoor pilot, can't you? You can say, Tendy's Adventures, as an Orion pirate could have been a backdoor pilot, about Orions or whatever. You can say that about anything, can't you? That happens. But anyway, but I wouldn't mind seeing that, because that station did look interesting. They could have lots of adventures on it, couldn't they? If you can hear me. What they're saying.
Weak point when you try to hit the booster from the side. And so one of the potential things that might have happened, in which they have seen in the past, at least for the ship, is that maybe that transfer tube snapped or something, and that caused the methane to burst essentially and to pop out once that impact with the water as it tumbled occurred. Very similar thing, if we have buoy camera today, we'll probably see a similar thing with Ship 31 today. If it lands on the ocean, don't be surprised if a few seconds later you see a fireball, because that thing will, tumble and tip over after splashdown, and then that's sort of a weak point it's a weak point for that kind of load. It is not designed for that, I should say, right? Of course, it is completely designed for all of the flight environments. We saw Booster 12 already landing on the chopsticks and everything, and its transfer tube, it was good. There was no explosion or anything. But obviously, these boosters and ships are not made to tip over on the ocean, and be hit by that water at that velocity. They are not made for that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Should be coming up in 5 minutes.
Yeah, about 5 minutes.
Relight.
And they're showing the inside of the ship. It's the only thing that's lit up. It's still in darkness, so it should be coming to dawn here pretty soon.
Drop.
You can see there some of the launch pad systems. SpaceX says Starship is 30 minutes into its 6th flight test, and all systems continue to look nominal. So that's a good sign.
4 more minutes here to go. The tank farm and everything, of course, going now into a little bit of a savings mode.
Are they talking yet over here? Have a look. Still music. Shut up.
Thing today with this they were attempting to do that, but unfortunately, Ship 28, the ship for that mission, did not have a good stable attitude control. Its roll control thrusters were blocked by ice, and so those were not working. Of course, as we've seen with Flight 4 and 5, they have had that much better control. They have that attitude control issue seems to not be happening. And today, so far, I've been looking at that sort of graphics that they have for the attitude of the ship, and so far so good. Like it's pretty much holding steady.
There we go.
By the way, I did my Christmas logo today. It's going to go up on the 1st of December. So I give you
47:46, of course, initial timeline. Could all be could all be changing.
Christmas logo.
I'm sort of hoping we see like a side by side of the banana and the engine bay. And so we see the relight, and then on the banana cam we see the banana sort of like being accelerated down by the,
true,
by the burn, because right now it's in 0G, right? It's floating there. It's held by those ooh, look at that. You can see lightning on the ground. Oh, well, on the Earth.
Earth's a planet.
Got coffee this
Is that the
time.
moon as well? I must
Look at that,
look at
yes.
that.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
Lightning.
That's so
SpaceX,
cool.
turn the lights on.
A bit more until orbital sunrise. Oh, is that like an inspection light?
What is that?
No, it should be the engine chill.
Oh. And we are 2 minutes away from that relight.
So some venting is normal.
Wow, fantastic. And yes, in the
Yeah, that's
bottom right,
cool.
that is a reflection of the moon, I think.
Probably.
Of course, watch for one of these Raptor engines at the bottom right. You will probably see one of them flash white as they ignite that.
Or so we hope, because for flight 4 and 5, it seems like it did not work for the landing burn. I'm not sure why that was the case. Let's see if that works now. Should be about a minute and a half or so.
See if they're talking yet.
This relight
Yes,
test.
they are.
This is a pretty critical capability for doing deorbit burns. This is not a deorbit burn. Want to stress that we're on a trajectory where if we didn't fire off the engine at all, we are definitely coming home. Ooh, seeing some thunderstorms down on the ground. That's pretty cool. But this is not a deorbit burn. If we didn't fire this engine, we're on a intentional suborbital trajectory. So no matter what, we're coming in over the Indian Ocean. Firing off the engine does change your exact splashdown point a little bit, but we've got this keep out zone across the entire Indian Ocean that we made sure was clear ahead of flight, and we continue
Is it
to
an
monitor
ion
during.
storm?
But we're going to aim for that and hopefully see this relay test coming on in about a minute. It's just going to be one of these engines, and it uses what's called the header tank, so these small spherical tanks in the very top of Starship up in the nose cone. They don't require nearly as much gas to pressurize as your main tank, so they're really useful for any in-orbit maneuvers. And then for landing burn. So if we make it to a landing burn today, we'll be using them for that as well. So we should be coming up in just about the next minute. Should be under a minute now away from that expected ship burn. And again, we've relit Raptors pretty frequently. We just did it with the landing burn and that boost back burn on the booster, and we've done it on ship landing burns. We just haven't done it in this microgravity environment where your propellant management and a lot of other things are different as you're now weighed
Relight
down
them
by
will
the
start
force
up.
of Earth's gravity.
Oh,
And
Just
shut
heard
down.
the call out for startup. There's some light. There's that Raptor relit. And shut down.
and a bit of ice.
All right, there you have it.
Wheeling
The
away.
first time ever lighting a Raptor while in outer space, other than our ascent burn. So really cool to see that relit. That's a pretty critical capability that we're going to need when we're doing orbital missions in the not too distant future.
I prefer
So check another one off.
macrogravity
That
or
was a really cool.
megagravity, whatever.
That was an objective we really wanted to hit on this one, and so good to see Ship knock that one out in orbit. But for now, we're going to coast for just a little bit longer, and then it'll be time for ship entry. So we'll get the usual light show as we return from
Starship is in entry
hypersonic
prep.
velocities. We're just starting to do the entry prep for that, so we're going to get the flaps positioned, and then it's going to start taking the brunt of all of that heat as you're coming in from well in excess of 10,000 miles an hour. That's all going to build up a lot of heat as you're encountering an increasing atmosphere, building up that friction. And we're going to see how the tiles fare. We've also got some pretty cool tile experiments that we'll talk about in a little bit. But coming up real soon, ship re-entry, successful relight, and we'll start this entry part soon.
Which one, the male or the female one? That's music again. Yeah. Shut up, so we'll get a copyright strike. Right, let's see what they're saying. Where are you?
It looks like it went up by about 100 kilometers per hour, which is not a lot, but it kind of proves that it can at least do the burn when it is commanded to
It's
do
getting
so.
faster, isn't it?
And now we've got that front flap cam. We're going to start seeing the once it starts to get into the atmosphere. Look at that. It's amazing.
That is the
And
that is the
and it
that is
was-
the reorientation, right?
Yeah, it is currently orienting for re-entry. That re-entry interface should be in about 5 minutes from now. You can see the altitude is right now 121 kilometers. It is currently in that attitude for the re-entry. It's already with the flaps sort of tucked in for that re-entry. And one of the things as well to point out is the speed will grow. You can see it there. It's still growing up. But at one point, you'll see that it is still, that it'll start to slow down as it goes through the atmosphere.
I hope
Absolutely.
the ship survives this time.
And don't confuse it yet. This is not yet. Is this the Starship flying into the sun now?
Is that
Because there's a glow here, but that's not the
that's not
re-entry glow
re-entry
yet,
plasma.
right?
No, that
Well, there's one thing to consider as well, which is because the plasma can still, like this is most likely plasma ionization, very early ionization. Shuttle fans out there, especially Crispy, will probably vouch for this because the shuttle also had this sort of phenomena when it was flying low. It was still in orbit, but it had this sort of ionization sort of
It
deal.
warped in, it went to
It
time
was
warp.
not still deep into the atmosphere or anything. But this is totally normal. We are in darkness, and so that's a lot more visible right now. That effect.
Yep. And we will see. It's gonna be interesting because we will basically experience orbital sunrise here as it re-enters, right? So this is gonna be
Yep.
quite an interesting effect that we are about to see. And friendly reminder: this entry interface and this whole re-entry lasts about 15 minutes. So
Yeah.
we are in for a journey.
it does take some time. The movies
Yep.
lie.
Yep.
But
This-
I mean, we can now see it. We have, I mean, it was still the first time we saw that coming in with the Starlink on the back of the ship and seeing the live pictures of the plasma. And now here we are again, doing it again. Or the sunrise.
Also, I want to point out quickly from Ryan Weber in our back channel. Apparently, that burn added about 81 kilometers per hour.
Yeah.
So just to add that as a quick number.
It was
here.
also prograde, by the way, just like we expected based on Flight 3.
So the ship is now going further and not.
Yeah. Just a tiny bit, because 81 kilometers per hour is not a lot, but good enough for testing the relight capability
But
of
it wasn't
Raptor.
88 miles an hour faster.
There we go.
You
The
see
glow
some
is now
serious
intensifying.
shit.
I think this is indeed some early
Yep.
signs of the re-entry glow. As we are getting more and more witnessing here of that amazing effect that we are
Probably.
only always
That
seeing
disco
so clearly on
popping up,
Starship.
probably.
It's funny because it looks so
Not mine,
steady
'cause I
that,
ain't got
that it
one.
looks almost like the camera is frozen. I bet some people in chat are already saying that it's frozen. I'm looking at the camera very closely, and I can tell you it is not.
And the telemetry's changing.
And so far, yeah, the telemetry and the video sort of go, differently. So far, everything looks good. Lars Blackmore just said that they are good for re-entry. It is holding attitude, and
And
yeah,
now the
look at
now the
that.
test begins.
Getting faster,
And it
though.
looks so calm, but this is violent. Like
Yeah.
the amount of heat, the amount of energy that they are bleeding off in the next 15 minutes. Against that, the landing burn of Super Heavy is kinda a walk in the park. The energy this heat shield is bleeding
Some
off
alien
is
life form
insane.
attached itself, look.
And again, they stripped what?
Look at
6
the engine cam.
tiles off both sides, 6 rows.
It's
Oh,
funny
did
because
that
you can
add-
see
It's an orbital
one of the
polyp.
one of the vents.
Oh, true. There's ice on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Won't be for much longer.
Oh, look at these. Can we-
Yes.
Yes. They learned a trick from Kevin.
Right. So they're really paying attention to those front flaps.
Yeah,
That's where they had issues on the previous flights, 2 flights, with the burn through. But the engine bay cam, you gotta love that.
Yep.
Takes
And
it back,
it will change colors over time. This will not stay as red. It will get some different colors. And remember, the thing we don't want to see is a lot of sparks. The moment we see a lot of sparks, that's usually not that great for the ship. We have sight on the booster?
Oh
Look
yeah, you
at-
can see some of the flames there.
Wow!
Yeah, there are 2 helicopters flying above it. That's
cool.
completely normal. Look, part of the process for SpaceX to get approval for these things is, hey, if something, like they say, hey, if something goes bad, we'll deal with it. We'll recover any pieces that are floating that may be a hazard for navigation. And so this is all part of that process, right? That's good. They are being good neighbors, so to speak, right?
Yep. And also, just to point this out, there are processes in place how to sink a booster in the ship, and one of them at the end is literally shooting the booster. Basically, what they first will do is they will try to open vents on tanks if they want to sink a part. If that doesn't work, they will use ballistic forces, is I think the permission wording, to open that booster up and make sure that it's becoming a natural reef, because most of these boosters will become like a natural reef if they are not recovered. But of course, that is very close to the shore, so they might have some interest in actually fishing that out and getting some data, because, well, more data, more better.
And that's what they did with the hot stage ring on Flight 5. And now that the booster is out there, they can do the same thing.
Absolutely. That's super cool to see that like
Flaps
burning
now
in the
have
distance.
control of the vehicle, by the way.
Oh, so that means there's aerodynamic, because that
Yeah.
means there's enough aerodynamic that so you have to imagine this at the beginning. This atmosphere is super
And you can see
super
the
thin.
speed going down, by the way, as well.
Yep. So now that speed needs to go to 0.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
It will.
Yeah. At the very least, to about 300 kilometers per hour, which is about the belly flop, sort of the terminal velocity of the ship.
It's going to go to 0 one way or the other. Whether they land it in the Indian Ocean or it lands itself in the Indian Ocean, it's going to go to 0. I mean, launches are optional, landings are mandatory. But you're going to see that number start to, when it gets into the thick part of the atmosphere, that number, that kph is really going to drop, and it's a show. The sparks start to fly. You start to see the smoke come up the sides. I'm really interested to see what happens to the side of Ship 31 when they really get in the hot part.
I'm
Because
also looking forward to that.
Because they changed the entry profile. Like they intentionally want a steeper entry to test that, don't they, Alex?
And also during the belly flop, we're gonna see a high angle of a tank. Just approaching the peak heat of every entry, by the way.
Oh, look at
They're
that.
going to have a high angle of attack.
And we
that
just
high
heard we're
angle of
getting
attack will
into
be
the
nose
peak
down.
heating phase. We're getting these views courtesy of Starlink. We've got 4 different.
We'll go back on here.
I think we've got 4 different terminals on the ship itself. It's what's really allowed us to get real-time data during what's otherwise been just a mystery box, essentially, for spacecraft design, where when you're re-entering through the atmosphere, at least getting anything in real time hasn't ever been possible before. But we're able to not just get these views, but real-time telemetry from the ship as it's coming through. Do really want to stress that we are really pushing the ship today. The heat shield is not in the same configuration as it was last flight, where we had a team of ship techs do just an otherworldly task, replacing the
Bit
Uh,
entire
early,
heat shield,
you think?
thousands of tiles, installing a backup ablative, and that pretty much set us up to do a pinpoint landing on Flight 5. We did not do that with this one. We have some backup in those really sensitive areas around the flap, but this is an older generation heat shield. And knowing we weren't going to do that, we even went and removed some extra tiles. There are some missing tiles on the nose cone where we're testing some backups. There are some steel-covered tiles in a couple of different spots. And there's also a whole lot more steel of the ship showing. As you guys talked about, we gave it a little bit of a
They'll probably
haircut,
disintegrate
a couple
then.
hundred tiles. trimmed off the sides, and that's where we might have catch fittings in the future.
Attacking
but-
it with
Ooh,
disruptor
color's
beams.
starting to come in. So it looks like things are going to start heating up, Kate and Jesse.
Yeah, fun fact, Dan, we actually removed 2,100 heat shield tiles from Starship in order to basically present that necessary receding line, which you kind of can see there in your view. Think back to previous flights. The heat shield line came up further on the vehicle, and just like Dan said, we want to test the vehicle beyond what we think it is capable of carrying based on our simulations and calculations. So once again, to just be super plain, don't be surprised if we see some wackadoodle stuff happen here. We won't be. There are a number of things that we are testing out intentionally to see what the ship can take.
Yeah, exactly. And knowing what those limits are will really help us design the vehicle of the future. Essentially, removing those tiles helps us remove a lot of weight from the vehicle, a lot of things that might potentially need refurbishment in the future. And the goal is to come up with a heat shield pattern or design that we don't have to refurbish. We can just continue to use it over and over again. And that's why we're changing some of those tiles and moving stuff around, removing a lot of those tiles, as Kate has been mentioning.
Exactly. And, looking forward to the Starship capability of the future, we want to be able to catch Starship like we do with boosters. And so the next flight, we want to better understand where we can install catch hardware, not necessarily to actually do the catch, but to see how that hardware holds up in those spots. And today's flight will help inform, does the stainless steel hold up like we think it may based on experiments that we conducted on Flight 5? Now, continuing to look, amazing views. Yeah, Dan, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, there's so much on this flight that we're doing to try and, make all the ships that we're about to start flying even better, just really understand what their capabilities are going to be. We've got kind of the next-gen ship lined up for Flight 7. It's got all of those heat shield upgrades and everything. And one of the things that we're going to be doing that's most interesting, and one of the reasons we wanted daylight, is we're going to be flying pretty aggressively as ship comes in. We're going to be kind of nose down, and we've done it in wind tunnels. We've done it in simulations. You might see the flaps really flapping around trying to control the vehicle. We're betting we might have a little bit more capability than we think in just the analysis, but always a chance that bet doesn't pay off. But that just helps us know what are our
Starship
limits.
is now halfway through the peak heating phase of entry.
Sweet. Halfway there. Halfway home, guys.
Yeah, and if you guys, again, can follow along with the altitude and the speed of ship as it's making its way back down to Earth, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, speed is still going really, really fast. Again, as it gets closer to Earth, we'll see that altitude drop a little bit faster. It's kind of dropping pretty slow right now. And again, as we get closer and closer to literally the surface of the water, then we'll start to see that speed pick up. And if we can make it through this re-entry, we will attempt to do that flip maneuver once again and splash down in the ocean.
Exactly. Like we've been saying, we are testing beyond the perceived limits of the vehicle. We want to go learn more about the ship, and this is a great opportunity to do that. So really pushing the flight hardware in a flight environment to help inform these future designs. As we've mentioned, it has a different heat shield. This heat shield is not the same generation as what we flew last time. This one is one generation older. So we are also testing out new secondary thermal protection materials. So basically, if the heat shield isn't in this one spot, can this other material protect the metal is the thinking there. Also, checking of the ship's structural strength in those areas where we're looking to add that ship catch hardware just to see if it survives entry. So yeah, as we've been saying, we've done a lot of calculations and simulations. This view right here is super cool. This is looking out from the aft engine bay, basically at the bottom of Starship. Then on the center left-hand panel, if you will, we have one of the forward Starship flap, so one of the flaps located at the top of the vehicle. Underneath that is one of the aft end flaps, like the one that we see in the main picture there on the right-hand side of your screen.
Yes, not cool.
Now, these
It's
views
super
as
hot, isn't
the
it?
vehicle continues to enter the Earth's atmosphere, drawing a crowd once again here at SpaceX in Hawthorne as folks tune in as the mission continues on. Now, the next event that we have coming up, we should hear the call out that the vehicle is transonic around T plus 1 hour and 2 minutes
See
or
the
so.
ground now.
That means that the vehicle is traveling near the speed of sound. We say near the speed of sound because there are certain parts of the vehicle where airflow is going faster and other
they're gonna
parts
land it
where
near
it's
a
going
buoy,
slower. So it
buoy,
kind
whatever you wanna
of
call
teeters
it.
there on the brink of
last time.
the speed of sound. So once we have equal flow on all parts, then we'll hear it subsonic.
Yeah, no.
Oh, and almost real quick, almost a reverse of. I'm sorry, Jesse. Almost a reverse of before. We see the Earth starting to come into view. We've got sunrise there, over the Indian Ocean. So this is going to look different from any of the re-entries we've had before, and it was specifically so like we get as much daylight as possible to see how ship does this.
Buoy.
Over to you,
Whatever.
Jesse. Sorry about that.
Dan, great minds think alike. That's exactly what I was going to point out, is that we're getting a lot clearer view of the Earth in the background with the different temperatures that we're seeing with the different colors of that plasma around the ship, which is really, really cool to see. Again,
Here comes the Starship into
we are pushing the limits
That's my impression
of
of David
ship
Bowie.
today, but so far everything is looking pretty nominal. We'll see how the next few minutes goes.
Yeah, like we've said before, don't be surprised if this is not entirely smooth sailing all the way down to the ocean's surface. Similar to
off the
Flight
edge.
5, we are targeting the same splashdown location in the Indian Ocean, but we are not expecting to recover the vehicle.
Right, and we were getting some glimpses of the flaps. The flaps so far are looking pretty good. We're not seeing any burn through. There's those flaps again in that hinge area, which is our most concerning area there. That's great news for us for now. Again, the next few minutes could change as we continuously push those limits.
Yeah, once we slow down a little bit, once we're subsonic essentially, so I think that's about 1,200 kilometers an hour. Once we're down below that,
'Cause it's
that's
been a
when
long
we're going
road.
to kind of dip our nose
Get it
down
from there to
and
here.
get that more aggressive angle of attack. Normally, we're just belly flop right into the water, pretty much that position. But if we're going to be able to do return to launch sites, we're going to want to be able to fly with a little bit more of an angle of attack, get you a little bit more range as you're coming through. And so this'll be just a test to see quite how far can we push it. And obviously we're going to do these kind of tests way out here in super remote areas before you ever try to bring a ship back to a place like Starbase.
Starship
The
remains
cat
on a
wants to
good
come in.
entry trajectory. External temperatures are coming down.
All right, great news there. That tells us that we are through the phase of peak heating. So we are expecting these temperatures to continue to come down. Once again, we are targeting a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean off the northwest coast of Australia. We can see these beautiful views of planet Earth coming in. Yeah, this is very different, where we had nighttime views of the ship as it was re-entering, and now we've got daylight. It is about an hour or so after sunrise there in the Indian Ocean. So pretty cool to see this.
Yeah, and it might not seem like it makes a huge difference, but we do get a little bit more light on ship as well for the camera views that we have, which is very beneficial for us to visually see anything and try and correlate that to any of the sensors or data that we have on the vehicle.
Exactly. That is why we shifted our launch window so that we could have that daylight in order to improve our observations of the vehicle. So not only are we getting all the raw data from all the sensors that are on board Starship, but we also have multiple cameras and assets out there that are watching the vehicle and will also be able to tell us with this visual story that is also very, very important.
And as we get down a little bit lower, the Raptor engines are in their chill phase right now. So just essentially getting them primed to turn on. We're going to use those 3 center engines to do a landing flip and then a landing burn. So we'll come down kind of in that slightly pointed down belly flop and then fire off those engines to flip us around and then do that
we can't
final
see all the
landing burn.
plasma
That
now,
should be
it's
coming up in
daytime.
just a little
But the heat will still
over,
be
just
there,
under 5
won't
minutes
it?
from now. And then hopefully we start hearing some call outs on transonic and subsonic as we slow down. Again, once you hear Starship as subsonic, keep a close eye on the flaps. They're going to be working overtime essentially to maintain control of the ship as we get a little more aggressive with this.
We can see that we are beginning.
Starship has passed maximum entry dynamic pressure.
All right, great call out there. But we can see on this view here that we do have some heating there on that looks like one of the forward flaps on Starship. This is to be expected. We knew that the vehicle would perform differently than what we had seen on Flight 5. This is actually really good data because it tells us what parts of the vehicle at this, what will soon be a higher angle of attack once we drop down below the speed of sound. We'll have a higher angle of attack, meaning we're going to be flying nose down, basically. So yeah, this is good news, but we can actually, looks like that heating is starting to cool off there.
Yeah, it's a little burn through. Again, it is important to note when we start seeing that through the ship's descent as well. So like Kate was saying, we're getting some really good data here. It looks like the other flaps are doing a little better than the one that has a little burn through, which is some good news. Again, constantly watching. We've got a couple minutes until we're expecting to make it all the way back down to Earth.
Exactly. And like we said before, we are not expecting to recover the ship, although that would be great. It'd be a nice bonus if it happened, but it's not really in our expectations today. We really want to push the hardware, as we've been saying, but really the telemetry and the data and the video that we receive all the way to the end is truly what we're looking for and will help inform the future designs of this vehicle.
We can see some flap movement as the camera is moving around. That's what you're seeing there is the flaps adjusting. And we have a camera on one of the flaps there this is the view that you're seeing there. And you can also see the graphic in the bottom.
Starship is slowing down past Mach 1.
And call outs aligning with this. You can see the orientation of the vehicle starting to change. You can follow that graphic at the bottom of your screen. Again, that is why those flaps are changing. They control the orientation of the vehicle.
Yeah, there are 4. Go ahead,
Starship has started the subsonic belly flop, remains on a good trajectory.
I was going to say this is when things will start to get a little interesting. So this is when we're moving slower than the speed of sound. You can see that nose slowly start to tip down, and we're going to try and maintain flap control the whole way. But we are just a couple minutes away from hopefully doing a landing flip and landing burn if the flaps can hold together.
Yeah, this is such a cool view. This reminds me of when we first performed the belly flop maneuver on the high altitude test with serial number 8. We saw the ship come back through, and I always wondered what it looked like from the ship's perspective, and this perspective, I think, helps inform that. We will be, as Dan said, we will be dipping down a little further and really be flying nose first. This higher angle of attack, we're intentionally doing it to stress those aft flaps, and that will help inform the limits of flap control in order to collect data for future landing profiles.
Got to control your flaps.
I mean, we're looking good so far. We've just got about 5 kilometers in altitude to go. We'll ignite the engines when we're still just a couple hundred meters over the ground, do that flip.
Starship is passing through 5 kilometers altitude, remains on a good trajectory.
I have a feeling this is going to look so cool as it passes through the clouds.
Obligatory shout out to the entire avionics team on Starship.
And there's that nose down orientation.
Now the Raptor engines will relight and help flip the booster back up. This is a more severe flip given the orientation. The engines will shut down prior to the water making impact, prior to the vehicle making impact with the water.
Our ship is doing great so far. There's those engines relighting.
What a great reorientation by Starship.
That one didn't need a buoy. David's there.
Into the water.
Starship is landed.
Wow.
Don't blow up.
And we have ship splashed down in the Indian Ocean.
Two
Some
buoys.
awesome buoy cam action here.
The Dave cam. It's going to blow up now, isn't it, look?
Incredible. We really pushed the limits on shipping and made it all the way back down to Earth.
I am shocked, to be honest. I think many folks are. The fact that it survived all the way through while flying a lesser gen heat shield is just absolutely incredible. And turns out the vehicle had more capability than our calculations predicted. And that is why we test like we fly.
Exactly why we do that. And those views were absolutely incredible to watch. Because of Starlink, we were able to get the views all the way down, as well as the buoys, seeing ship touchdown in daylight.
So cool. So cool. Now, we want to, unfortunately, wrap up the show.
Yeah,
Show us the
exactly.
banana.
We'll say congratulations to our teammates at SpaceX and to everyone who supported the Starship program. And thank you to all of our future customers for your support.
We'd also like to thank the people of Cameron County, Texas, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, the government of Mexico, and the Australian Space Agency.
Now, be sure to...
Hey. Oh, they're getting... the banana is fine. I can tell you the banana is fine.
Hey guys, I could take it from here. That was just incredible to see that splashdown. As you said, thanks to everybody that took such a huge part in this. Everybody here at Starbase that's worked on this program, just really pouring your lives into it. Great to see another booster lift off. We'll catch it the next time. Great to see ship in the water. New version of ship coming soon, so a lot more exciting launches coming up real soon here from Starbase. But I'll send us out this time. We'll see you guys next time.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. Be sure to follow SpaceX on X for updates and more exciting views that we weren't able to feature on today's broadcast.
I'm sure there will be plenty of those. Now, thanks to all of you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Cool. What we're looking at there.
Position.
Always.
The booster still burning away in the Gulf of Mexico. Anyway, new ship drops mid-2025. They're hoping to go to Mars, aren't they, in 2026? Sometime in 2026. Which would be cool. Not people, just a ship. But I hope they do. Do it now! Well, they can't, can they? Because they need to wait for the window, don't they? They went on about that earlier on. Right, so there we go. I'm going to leave it there because I'm going to sort some food out for me and my lad now. Right, so, cool. The ship landed in the sea, kind of set on fire. Don't know what happened with the banana. They didn't catch the booster, so we're a bit poo this one, wasn't it? But at least the ship was more intact, wasn't it, than last time? Flaps weren't burning off and everything. There was some heating on one of the flaps, but it was essentially fine. Hello, Princess. What you up to? What are you looking at? What's the matter? Might be a bit hot on top of that fire. She don't care. Wingress says, I saw a meme today that when we finally get to Mars, we'll find a Viking longboat. Okay. Well, there's the two Viking landers on there, isn't there? Why a Viking longboat? Oh, because they got to that, yes, because it's like America, were discovered by the Vikings before Christopher Columbus and all that. Is that what you're on about? I don't know. probably. Right, so I'm going to leave it there. Thanks, Windgrace, and thanks, Josh Temple. Nobody else popped in, did they? I don't think they did. I expected there to be the naughty people commenting because I left the chat wide open. I didn't make it members only or anything like that. So I expected the naughty people to come on, but they didn't. Anyway, so never mind. Right, so I'm going to leave it there. Going to leave it there. Remove that now. So go and subscribe to NASA Spaceflight, subscribe to Windgrace's channel and Josh Temple's channel, eagerly awaiting his story about his experiences when in the woods that he's going to tell us all about, I hope so. And all that stuff. And go and follow SpaceX on X and all that stuff. Right, so I'm going to leave it there. So, thanks for watching, wherever you are. What's next, by the way? What's coming up next? What day are we on? Tuesday, not Wednesday. I might do a stream tomorrow. It depends. If I find any news items that are interesting tomorrow, I might do a live news stream tomorrow night. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So anyway, right, so I'm going to go now. So thanks for watching, wherever you are. Look after each other, and until next time, I'll see you there.